with this tonight.
Yay.
Well, I'm gonna go into a lot of detail here, right? So, first of all, woman's flower, right? You can't worship something that's non-physical. So my theory is, as men, we have to be God, and subsequently, the way you do that is by worshiping something, because, like, it's kind of a paradox. Like, God itself, quote unquote, can't worship, because the concept of worship doesn't mean anything, but it's like the masculine, okay? The masculine directs okay, the masculine directs attention. The masculine focuses. So, for example, it's masculine for men to look at women, but it's feminine for men to hope or want that attention directed towards them. So the God force, especially why it's a lot of it's seen as like that is God, like that God is a male figure. It's because the male figure takes action. It does things. It directs focus. It is the observer. It is the creator. But what's the point of creation if there's nothing to create and there, or to observe or to experience? And that's where the woman element comes in, or the female element. And this may be switched around in different um, animals, what have you, animals and everything. But yay, have a good night, guys. Take care. But it doesn't. It's like it's like, why would you want someone to be uh, feminine? And so my proposition is that, as a man, why would you want to be feminine, even though that phenomenon occurs in nature, like peacocking, like some of the male species wanted to be like more ornate or more colorful. But getting back into this, so it's a simple logical process. It's like, first of all, it's like, what's the point of life, and what's the point, like, how do you end war? The way you do it is there's no point of humanity even existing unless it's celebrating the woman, and protecting the woman. And people say, well, it sounds like you're objectifying women, and that you don't want women to be free to make their own choices. I would hope that a woman would recognize that they're more emotional and more and generally not as strong, and so I would think that they might want to have oh, this guy's, yeah. That guy was going hard. So, like I was suggesting, so it's like, what's the point of existence if it's not for having that duality, that yin and yang, that masculine and feminine, and then, but it's a paradox, because if we are men and we are God, then we shouldn't have to even want or need a woman. So the way this plays out is, when you orgasm, when you get off, it's no longer a biological urge controlling you, and rather it's your consciousness and your attention controlling you. Like here's an example. It's like, if you're on an island, right, and you're stranded alone with a woman. Like, I myself, I don't want to be intimate with a woman unless I'm unless I'm married to her, because it's so even in that scenario, if it was like last two humans, I would still jerk off in my hands, then provide her with the semen so that she could inseminate herself. And this is because it's just truly operating not from the biological urge of the man to whether you want to call it have an orgasm or procreate or perpetuate the species. Like, obviously some things have to be done, like we have to perpetuate the species if we want to exist, but the point is that shouldn't be the height of the human experience. To me, the height of the human experience should in fact be when you are worshiping a woman, and it's not about wanting to get off by using her as a vehicle for that, but rather it's wanting to worship and celebrate her. And in this case, it happens to be that women have a vulva, which is a clitoris and a labia and inner outer, and that is like a flower. And so it only makes sense to me that to provide oral sex to a woman, to put an emphasis on that. It's not about the guy wanting like to get off from the woman, right? It's like the consciousness of wanting to celebrate and worship the woman. And the reality is that sex is often about power. The reason that's the case is because it's about like trying to seduce maybe the most attractive person, or trying to, it's like it's a sense, it's like it's an energy that tries to control you and force you, or careful. It's and yet that shouldn't be what we want to do. What we want to do should be to live at a higher consciousness that like think about it like this. Like, say for example you have somebody talking about wanting to be a boyfriend or girlfriend. The problem with that is that it's not true love, and worse yet, it's if you don't marry them and you marry someone else, then it's inevitably not, it's not even your first choice. So it's just boy, girl, and friend. It's not a commitment. It's not, you don't have somebody you can truly trust that to be there through the ups and downs of life. And then what happens if you actually, while you're quote unquote dating, which when you're dating, that's not even supposed to be, something you do. It's supposed to be something you do only after you get married. As dating is supposed to be an expression of that you're together and you want the public to know that. So it's an action that you can take to, and it's like, I hate to cut down religion, because religion kind of convinces people, quote unquote, through emotional reasons, that if you don't abide by certain things, that like no sex until marriage, that you'll go to hell. But that's an emotional appeal. It's not a logical appeal. A logical appeal is that it's an unloving activity, that it's lust-based, that it's unsustainable. It's like humanity should not continue to exist unless we worship and celebrate women, unless we worship and celebrate the flower, right? So keeping that train of thought going, let's see here. So again, it's stupid. Boyfriend and girlfriend, it's no agreement, and it's stupid. It's more about having sex. Like when you want to have sex, it's getting off, and it's generally the man wanting to do that. That's why you need that post-nut clarity as a consequence of daily consistent masturbation. So here's the next thing. It's like once you discover it, your life is saved. Just like you know how people say that you're like quote unquote saved by religion or what have you. Well, this is something different. This is being saved by like discovering that vulva is the meaning of life, that it's the singular beauty of life. And that worshiping other false gods, like for example, wanting like a new car, wanting as a man, wanting a new car, wanting attention, worshiping sex instead of worshiping your wife and her vulva, right? And by the way, the problem with sex is that it's an attaching phenomenon. Like, why would you want to attach yourself to somebody that you did not want to, trust and respect and be with, right? So, one thing is that men need to be, like I was saying, self-intimate, because then what is it? It's not about getting off via oral sex or penis and vagina, PIV, quote-unquote, intimacy, but rather it's about praising a woman's flower and worshiping his wife via oral intimacy and things like massage. And so, things like the mammary glands and other fat stores, to me that makes sense that they're for babies, and that men should want to have a woman who's healthy, lean and clean, and additionally her VVS is like healthy and strong and can get hard, just like guys, privates can get hard. The reality, guys, is that you'll be much more selective if you focus on finding a woman with a clean, strong VVS, somebody who's healthy. You'll be like, if you focus on, you should be able to look at a woman and see whether or not you would want her VVS, and so beyond just wanting a buttocks or a pretty face, or like the fat reserves, right? They can be arousing, but guess what? They lead to a premature death, and I would say death whatsoever, because in this day and age we should be able to live indefinitely. Woman's attach, need to learn, and then one of the biggest points that people will make is that they need to have sex in order to learn how to familiarize with the process, but that's truly stupefying, because all animals already know how to do this instinctually. So it's and plus, why would you may want to experiment, but why would you want to experiment with someone you didn't care about, and want to have those experiences and like develop those like and this isn't to say that people shouldn't have their preferences as to what men and women find attractive, their body type, and also considerations for sexual compatibility. Men and women should know themselves first. Women, right? Women should use dildos. They should be active with themselves. It's the critical juncture here is the importance of having sex with the self, because that's that's like just as good as having it's like I would say at least 2/3, if not 70%, as good as having sex. Another thing, if you guys didn't know, hormones, like a guy would never take hormones to birth control hormones, because you know that that's going to affect your testosterone and whatnot. Same thing with women. With women, it affects their hormones, so it damages them. It damages their natural proclivities. Like, it makes them want more feminine men because it reduces their estrogen, what have you. So things to be conscious of. What else here? What else? I think I kind of covered everything I wanted to. And then I made this kind of fun point here. It's called 10 Commandments Revised. It's about one, worshiping and protecting women, right? Here, let's put this one on the front here. Right there. Only attacking and killing people or animals that are a threat to society's well-being, or, for that matter, I also want to include people who are not capable of who are basically people who have hopeless situations where they have the inability to, the potential, either they're like mentally or physically handicapped children who will never have the potential to live their own life. Or, like, that's what I would want if I was humane, if I was like, that's what I would want if I was mentally or physically unwell. I would want to be humanely put down, just like people respect animals. If the animals have a great enough dysfunction, they allow that their pets, right? They allow their pets to. Eric, hey, I guess you're watching me live. Obviously, I can't answer. Hope you're doing good. Throw something in the chat, dude. If you have something you want to say. Hope you're well, dude. So what else is here? What else do I want to say? Fuck, I gotta use the bathroom. I may have to cut it short, you guys. You know what I mean? It's like may have to cut it short. Let me just show this to you so that you see it. Masturbate daily, we got that. Label no one a higher authority, like a father or Jesus or God, especially men. Men, you need to control yourselves. Really have to go to the bathroom. Fuck me. I might have to get a little creative here. You guys, I have to do that. But we'll be back. Take care.